Next up, I'm going to show you how to properly, again, ignore emails that come in while you're making webinars. But in this case, the webinar is about in-text or in-essay parenthetical citations. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my works cited entry and pretend that I have an essay that precedes it. Let's pretend that I have an essay here and I need to embed a quote from the play. Of course, you want to ensure that all quotes are embedded and cited. Let's look at one page of the play. Act 2, Scene 2, Macbeth has just murdered King Duncan, and Lady Macbeth is reflecting on the guards and how Duncan resembled her father. I'm going to quote this section of text here, Lady Macbeth saying, "Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it." The first thing I want to make sure I do is put that inside of my own sentence. So I'm going to say something like, though Lady Macbeth claims to be brave, she does admit that she could not kill the king. In her mind, and here I'm going to enter the quote, "Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it." And one important thing to note is that when you get to the end of a line in Shakespearean text, like after the word resembled, you're actually going to use a slash to represent the end of that line. And then you're going to go ahead and write in the next line. Okay, before I close this quote, I want to point something out to you. I didn't want to use the word I because I wanted this to be in third person, so I changed the word I to the word her or she using the brackets. And once again, this little slash mark represents the end of a line in Shakespeare. Now I'm going to put my quotations first, then space, and then a parentheses. When I quote in in-text citations for Shakespeare, it's act, period, scene, period, line numbers. In this case, 2, period, 2, period, 16 and 17. I use Roman numerals, capital first, lowercase here, and then the period goes at the end of the citation. I'm going to highlight that. The period goes at the end of the citation. Act, period, scene, period, line numbers. No spaces at all. There is one space between the quotation marks and the beginning of the parentheses. If you are going to quote a line that is 4 lines or shorter, you can quote using this bracket to show the end of a line here. So I could quote Lady Macbeth, that which hath made them drunk hath made me bold, all the way down to hark peace, which would be 4 lines. If I want to go to a 5th line and quote something that long, I actually need to set that whole section of text apart all by itself. So I would need to indent. This is where you indent the beginning of a paragraph, so I actually need to indent further than that. I'll take it to about here. Note that when I just come up to my ruler up here, I can put in an extra tab mark. I'm going to hit the tab key. And if I wanted to cite a whole long section of text, I would put it in here all indented and single spaced. I'm noticing that this doesn't look quite right. Oh, it's because my spacing's set at 8 point instead of 0. And so in that way, I would continue to type the soliloquy here while it is at least over 4 lines of text long. I would still use the same parenthetical citation at the end of it. Act 2, Scene 1, lines whatever to whatever, because of course I just made this up. So please make sure that when you're formatting, you're using the slash marks, the parentheses, the period goes outside of it. One other thing I'll note, if you quote from more than one line, let's say you want to talk about the dagger. Macbeth uses a dagger which he believes has been proceeded from a heat-oppressed brain and which he equates to witchcraft. Those are 3 lines from his soliloquy in 3 different places. In this case, I would still say that they're from Act 2, Scene 1, but then I would give each of the different citation lines by itself with a comma. So it's line 3, comma, 6, comma, 11, period. And in this case, I can put a space after the comma between that comma and the next page number. So this would mean that the word dagger is from line 3, proceeded from a heat-oppressed brain is from line 6, and witchcraft is from line 11. And once again, my period goes outside the parentheses.